Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ian Preston here on my first channel, Ian Preston. Welcome back to another Cobra Kai Karate Kid video, and I'm going to be briefly explaining about the Kung Fu Kid or something, or the Kung Fu Dream or something else. That guys. All right, sorry guys, I had to yawn. But anyway, the Kung Fu Kid, the Kung Fu Dream, Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. That came out in 2010, and I gotta say, I don't know if it's gonna follow up with the Miyagi-Verse because I don't know. Daniel, I don't know how he's gonna meet Mr. Han in the next year's Karate Kid film, the 2025 Karate Kid film. I don't know how Daniel's gonna meet him. I'm confused. Like, how is he gonna meet him? Like, how is this gonna follow up with the Miyagi-Verse? But I can tell you guys that yes, I did. This was like the very first Karate Kid movie that I watched. I saw this in the theater when I was 10 years old, and I kind of got a little scared when Jay was getting hurt and getting beat up, and also I was getting kind of mad at the bullies and their sensei, and I was on the edge of my seat wanting for Dre to win and all. And I can tell you one thing's for sure. I did love watch. I did kind of get a little zoned out or a little bored, but I also did get happy and excited, and I enjoyed this film. This was a film to watch in the theater. I enjoyed it. I really like both the Karate Kid films, the 1984 one and the 2010 one, and even the next Karate Kid, the one with Hilary Swank. That's pretty good. I remember one time my grandma, I asked for the new Karate Kid film, the 2010 film. She didn't understand. She got me the next Karate Kid DVD, the one with Hilary Swank. I did not watch it, but I don't know if I have it still or not. I might have got rid of it, but I eventually did watch the next Karate Kid, the one with Hilary Swank. And eventually, I think I tried borrowing the Karate Kid. I might have got the wrong 1984. I got the 1984 one, and we went ahead and exchanged it and got the 2010 one because I was into that one. I might have been a little frustrated, but then eventually, I was like, there's a Karate Kid original one, and then eventually in junior year, I eventually, when I was 17, I recorded the 1984 Karate Kid film. I'm like, this is great for an 80s film, and I watched it and loved it. And then I was like, hey, part 2 and 3, I should watch that too. So I watched part 2 and 3, and then next year Cobra Kai came out, and then I started watching Cobra Kai, and then after season 2, I'm like, I gotta watch the next Karate Kid, and then I watched that, then 3, 4, 5. I mean, Cobra Kai 3, 4, 5, and now season 6, part 1. Now I'm anxiously waiting for part 2 and 3, and then eventually the Karate Kid movie, which is next year. But anyway, that's pretty much how I did the Karate Kid. But other than that, I just wanted to talk about what if this is gonna Karate Kid 2010 is gonna be in the Miyagi-Verse because Mr. Han and Daniel Russo are gonna team up in in Karate Kid to train Ben Wang's character, I think. So my guess is Karate Kid to Kung Fu Kid or something. The events occurred during 2010, pretty much, yeah, where Dre and his mom moved. And at this point, if this follows up through the Miyagi verse, then Daniel and Amanda would have been married, and then I guess Sam would have been just a kid, and so would Miguel. He'd be living in Riverside. Johnny would be living at that crap hole apartment, and I guess he would have been at the 2010. He might have tried to go to, because again, he has a picture of Robbie as a kid, as a soccer player in 2010 champs. He and My guess is that he went to a game and managed to get that, but Robbie didn't want to see him, and Shannon didn't want to see him at this point in 2010. Shannon would be raising Robbie, and Johnny would not be seeing him. He'd be having to deal with Sid, his stepfather. Miguel and his mom and Yaya would be living in Riverside, and I think Yasmin and Moon would probably be besties. And at this point, Sam and Aisha would be hanging out as kids, and Anthony would have been just a toddler. Sean would have been just a kid, and his brother Kenny would have been just a toddler. Anthony's friends would be toddlers. Oh my gosh. I think Daniel would have had his dealership then, and yes, Anush and Louie would be working for him. And I'm sure at this point, 2010, because I'm going to just go with Julia Macchio's character, would be graduating high school at this point, because I'm sure Julia Macchio would have graduated high school in 2010. excuse me, because she would have turned 18 in 2010. I know when she was born and what year she was born. So it has to be, she has to be, cousin Vanessa LaRusso has to be the same age as Julia Macchio. So the LaRusso family will be celebrating Vanessa LaRusso's graduation. And yes, maybe Lucille and Amanda would still have their ups and downs in 2010. And Tori would not be at the Valley yet. Her mom would be healthy. She would be just a kid, and I guess I don't know if her son I mean her little brother Brandon would probably be being born, and Tori as a kid would be scared of her auntie Candace because Auntie Candace would be annoying and rude. And I don't know if her potential father. My guess is that Dutch is her potential father. I don't know. Tori's father. He might be in jail, or he probably hasn't been in jail yet. But my guess is that Brandon has not been born yet, or he's about to be born, or Tori's mom might be pregnant with Brandon at this point. And I guess Bobby would be doing his preaching stuff. Tommy and Jimmy would be doing their stuff. Jimmy would be married to Jenny, and I don't know what Tommy would have been doing, but I don't know if Dutch is in jail yet at this point, or I guess Trey and Cruz would be hanging out with um, Robbie when they were kids, and Kyler and Brooks would be kids hanging out. I don't know if they'd be picking on Hawk. Well, he would be Eli at this point, Eli and Dimitri yet. I don't know if they were picking on Eli and Dimitri yet, but Eli and Dimitri would be binary brothers. They'd be doing everything together as kids at this point in 2010, while Dre is going through his things where he's moving to China, getting picked on, learning kung fu, and yes. But other than that, Dre, I mean, I don't know. It's been someone told me that they think Dre's gonna be in Karate Kid fighting or something. I don't know if he really is or not. I don't know if how this is gonna evolve, but I know the actor Pat Morita would have been passed away in 2010, but the character Miyagi, he died in 2011, I think. Yeah, so it would have been a year before he passed away. So Miyagi would have still been alive. Kumiko and Chosen would be in Japan. Mike Barnes would be doing his furniture stuff with his wife. Excuse me, and he would be having like wanting to apologize to Daniel, but he wouldn't be able to because he doesn't have the guts and he'd be terrified too. He's afraid it would trigger something. At this point, he would be wanting to, I'm sure, and he would be doing commercials. Larissa would be doing the chopping prices commercials. I don't know what Stingray would have been doing by then. He'd probably be working as well, or maybe getting out of high school. Hang on, let me think about this. He probably would have been getting out of he would have been out of high school, maybe in college or something, and or going, who knows. But other than that, wait a second. Okay, guys, he would have been out of college and probably working jobs or something, is my guess. Because I know the year when Paul Walter Hauser was born or something. Oh, who knows? He probably would have been out of college trying to have his own jobs or something. He'd be working probably at the hardware store because again, he said he was 5 years old when the 80s happened. Well, the character was 5 years old when the 80s happened, but I know Paul Walter Hauser was born in '86. But other than that, what else would have been going on? I'm sure Miss Jessica Andrews would be in Ohio. That's where Amanda's mom would be, and also Elizabeth Ann Rooney would be there too. And yeah, the teachers will be still working at West Valley High, and yeah, I think homeless Lynn would still be homeless. Maybe I know Cree said he'd be training. He trained SEALs in Afghanistan or something, and I'm sure he'd probably be doing that by now in 2010. And then Terry Silver would be living his good life in his rich life or something at that place. And yeah, he would have already done his therapy and he'd have a nice place he'd live in, and yeah, he'd be living his best life, not even thinking about John Kreese. And Betsy, yeah, I think she'd be dead. I don't know if she's really dead, but she would be dead because I know for a fact John Kreese's captain said that she's dead or something. But yeah, but other than that, that's pretty much what everybody in the Cobra Kai universe, in the Cobra Kai show, would have been doing during the events of the Karate Kid 2010. If this follows through with the Miyagi-Verse, this is what they would have been doing during the events of the Karate Kid 2010. And I don't know. Karate Kid. Let me think about this. Hang on a sec, guys. Okay, guys, the Karate Kid 2010 would have taken place 8 years before Cobra Kai came out. Well, I guess present day, I guess it took place. Cobra Kai took place in 2017. I mean, September 2017, then 2018, 2019, and they're almost getting into 2020. So technically, the timeline's different. So I guess in September 2017, that's when the events of Cobra Kai started because they started filming Cobra Kai season one at that point. But other than that, it came out in May 2018. It started in May 2018, but Cobra Kai, um, yeah, the events take place in late 2017, start in late 2017. So the events of Karate Kid 2010 would be 7 years before the events of Cobra Kai. Yeah, the 7 years before the events of Cobra Kai. Oh yeah, and during the events of Karate Kid 2010, Allie would have been married to Greg Schwarber. They would have been raising their kids, and yes, they'd be living in Denver, Colorado, and yes. But other than that, that's pretty much what would have been going on during the events of the Karate Kid 2010, what the Cobra Kai characters would have been doing during the events of the Karate Kid 2010, because it take place 7 years before the events of Cobra Kai. And Eli would be Eli, he wouldn't be Hawk. But other than that, but he would be hanging with Dimitri as buddies. Eli probably would still be a shy kid, and yeah, but other than that, that's all I got. Oh yeah, and I think Nate and Bert would probably be toddlers. I don't know, or kindergartners. I don't know, or who knows. And also Mitch and Chris would be buddies as kids. They'd be kids too, and all those kids we see in the Cobra Kai would all be kids, and some of them wouldn't be knowing each other. Some of them would be knowing each other. But yeah, that's what I think will be going on during the events of the Karate Kid 2010. If the Karate Kid 2010 is going to follow up with the Miyagi-Verse. I mean, I saw an interview with Ralph Macchio on with, I think he was with Whoopi Goldberg or something, and he's saying that this movie's gonna be really good in the Miyagi verse or something, or the Karate Kid franchise or something. But other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you. Drop a like if you guys like my theories and all, and please hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, check out Ian Preston reviews, link will be in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, love you all, and remember, Cobra Kai never dies.